Let's Science is brought to you by the StarQuest Production Network and is made possible by our many generous patrons. If you'd like to support the podcast, please visit sqpn.com/give.
3, 2, 1.
We live in a universe of scientific wonders.
Every day, scientists are inching towards breakthroughs which can change our lives.
We're playing our small part in sharing these wonders with you.
That's why today is a fine day for science.
So let's science.
Lino, I have before, when we've talked about science, talked about our track record, and
Oh no, this is a track record that without
without Caroline
has been interesting,
yes, and,
but fun.
Yes,
totally fun.
And as the little tagline at the end of most Star Trek movies says, the adventure continues. And so you and I,
exactly,
you and I will dare to continue the adventure of talking about science. And I've got a brief one.
Yes,
I've got a brief one today. And Lino, we've talked about concrete and mushrooms and melting robots and things like that. And
yes,
I mean, who doesn't love a good robot story, right? So let's do that. But before we do, I actually wanted to share a little bit of listener feedback, Lino, because I thought the science segment would be the right time to do this. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because we do. Yeah.
Okay.
Because not only have we talked about those topics I mentioned, but we've also talked about, as you know, magpies. And I was a bit surprised by how much feedback on Discord, like the discussion that the magpie discussion started.
I saw a little bit of that to see what you're saying about it. Yeah.
So just a few comments that came up. One person said, it reminds me of a Bluey episode. Also, I get, and I had to Google this, right? There's actually a Bluey episode about a magpie in a tree who does a bit of swooping. Yep. It said, I guess I always thought of magpies as North American birds. They're pretty much the unofficial state bird of Colorado, but I guess they live all over the world. Yeah. And I actually had no idea that there were American magpies, but they're very different from ours. They don't have the aggressive tendencies that they have in Australia. So another said, Australia has its own particular species of magpie. It's not even a corvid like the other magpies. Once again, I'm reminded that Australia is weird. Yep, certainly is. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, another comment. Wait, what? I entirely assumed that it was the same kind of bird. And I was thinking that it's strange the Aussie magpie swoop. Learnt it from the Bluey episode 2. While I've never seen one here doing that. Guess that explains it. And so I reshared the Magpie Alert website that I shared in our last episode.
Okay,
and
cool.
And one of them said, in the US, they just raid picnic tables. And I said, we've got seagulls for that.
We got seagulls for that. Yep.
And the last comment I'll share is this one. It says, anecdotally, at least according to that site, and is referring to the website that I shared, it says 10% of magpie attacks end in injury. It says they sound worse than drop bears, which I think is for me is the, that's the comment of the section for me. I like that. Yeah.
The drop bears. Yeah. I love it.
There was a question like, can you shoo them away with sticks or whatever? And I said, I wouldn't dare. And then
I wouldn't know.
And I shared that, you can actually try and befriend certain types of magpies and then shared some advice on that I've seen anyway. So there you go.
Yes.
I'm glad that the magpie segment resonated. That was good. So
I wasn't surprised, man.
Yeah. But now I'd like to go back to some territory that's safe for you and me, Lino. Let's talk about robots. Right? So,
okay, here we go.
I thought this one was actually really cool. It's called, and this is from technology.org. I've seen it in a few different sites, and this one was posted today at time of recording, which is 2 weeks ago for those who are listening. It says, researchers at the University of Washington have developed small robotic devices that can change how they move through the air by snapping into a folded position during their descent. That's right, they've created battery-free robots that use origami to change shape in mid-air. So there we go. Origami robots, people. That's where we're going today with this. Now,
wow. Oh.
Yeah, it's great. So now I will say that on this website, there's a 2-minute video that you can watch which shows these things in action. And it's really cool because they have these 2 vertical wind tunnels. They're small wind tunnels.
Okay.
And they have a robot configured to float and one not to float. And they show how it changes its shape using origami so that it can suddenly float, right? So, which is really cool. It says that these are robotic microflyers. They're dropped from a drone And they use what's called Miuri Ori Origami. Now, you need to look this up because it's very, very hard to explain, but is very cool as well. But they use that type of origami fold to switch from tumbling and dispersing outward through the air to dropping straight to the ground. To spread out the flyers, the researchers control the timing of each device's transition using a few methods, including an onboard pressure sensor, which estimates the altitude, an onboard timer, or a Bluetooth signal, because everything is better with Bluetooth, Lino.
Yeah. Everything's with Bluetooth, yeah.
Everything is better with Bluetooth, yeah.
With Bluetooth, yeah.
These robotic microflyers weigh 400 milligrams, which is about...
That is light as.
Half as heavy as a nail, apparently.
Half as a nail. Yeah, that's very light.
And they can travel the distance of a football field when dropped 40 meters in a light breeze.
Okay, cool.
Each device has an onboard battery-free actuator, a solar power harvesting circuit, and a controller to trigger these shape changes in mid-air. The microflyers also carry onboard sensors to survey temperature, humidity, and other conditions while soaring. So these are pretty smart little robots. You have to look at a picture of them. They're actually really, really cool. You can see the folds. They're not made of paper. They're made of another kind of bendable, shapeable material. But you can see the folds. And,
you can't actually
exactly right.
all this circuitry on a piece of paper. But makes sense.
There is a photo that zooms in to show the circuitry as well. So that it says here that the circuits are assembled and patterned directly into the flexible material that makes up the microflyers. And you can see an image. And believe me, this is really cool to look at. You have to check it out. Yeah. So it says here, using one of the senior authors, Vikram Ilya from the University of Washington, says using origami opens up a new design space for microflyers. We combine the Miuri Ori fold, which is inspired by geometric pattern folds in leaves, with power harvesting.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, they're like leaves, right? I think maple leaves or elm leaves is what they were shaping it on.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it uses power harvesting and tiny actuators to allow our flyers to mimic the flight of different leaf types in midair. In its unfolded state, our origami structure tumbles chaotically in the wind, similar to an elm leaf. But switching to the folded state changes the airflow around it and enables a stable descent similar to how a maple leaf flies. This highly efficient method allows us to have battery-free control over microflyer descent, which was not possible before. So this is really cool, Lino. I mean, honestly, I love this. I can't wait to see more advanced microflyers that can just change shape like origami and stay in the air for longer, right? Yeah.
Wow.
It says the robotic systems overcome several design challenges. The devices, and we've got a dot point list here, are stiff enough to avoid accidentally transitioning to the fold state before the signal, so they can't accidentally refold to the state they were in before. The transition between states is rapid, so it happens really quickly. The onboard actuators need only 25 milliseconds to initiate the fold.
That is fast.
So that's how quick. It's super fast. Yep. So they change shape while untethered from a power source. The microflyer's power harvesting circuit uses sunlight to provide energy to the actuator. So
solar power.
Yeah. So they've got mini solar. They're very small, as you'll see, but it's just mini solar cells there. Yeah. So the current microflyers can only transition in one direction at the moment, so they can't go back. So they can go from tumbling to falling. Controlled falling. The switch allows researchers to control the descent of multiple microflyers at the same time, so they disperse in different directions on the way down. The researcher said future devices will be able to transition in both directions. This added functionality will allow for more precise landings in turbulent wind conditions. So there it is, Lino. Future controlled microflyers that use origami folds to go from tumbling to just falling. What do you reckon?
That is amazing. Like you said, are these things, what they say, ejected or dispatched from a drone?
They're dropped from a drone, yes.
Is that correct? Yep. From a drone. So not only do you have a drone that can look it around, you can have these little microflyers flying around, but much later on in the future, they may even be able to send communication and information. You know, I'm thinking more the positive way.
Yeah,
please.
Not the robots taking over kind of way. Yeah.
No, not. I'm not saying it's positive as well, but maybe the military may be using it, but that's beside the point. Yeah. What I'm thinking about is more for looking at an area for, harvesting and looking for great multicultural grounds to, plant things.
Yeah, research and all kinds of, monitoring.
Exactly, research. Yeah.
Like could we, for example, have in the future a high atmosphere, but not space, but just high in the atmosphere robot that could continuously float using solar power and change its shape?
Yep.
Now it's getting kind of scary.
Yes.
But for example, to monitor, for example, changing weather, ground conditions, be used for monitoring emergency situations and providing, up-to-date information. There's these future applications. I mean, making it larger will be a challenge, but still, clearly they've come this far. So and they want to be able to make it change shape from one to the other.
Exactly.
So, it could adapt to different conditions using sensors and stay continuously in the air for hours, days, maybe even longer in the future. Yeah. Very cool.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what I was thinking about. Yeah. Looking at these circuitries, and I work for a company who sell electronic components, and all those components look very similar.
Yeah, I've shipped those. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we shipped those. I wouldn't be surprised we're helping them build these. And of course, we're not the only company. There's hundreds of other companies who sell electronic components for everything like that. But it looks unbelievable, Lindsay.
There you go.
Yeah.
I love, Lino, that this year, you and I, when we've been in charge of the science topic, we've been able to find something so weird but sciencey and go with it. So well done.
We have. Yeah. Look, I totally understand where they're coming from with all this, with the research and everything. But wow.
Hopefully they won't be brought down by swooping magpies in Australia. Just saying.
Oh no! Oh no! They will be, those poor things.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah. Magpies 1.
Dispatch them
Origami robot 0. Yeah.
0.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, just keep them away from the magpies. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Let's Science is brought to you by StarQuest Media and is a fortnightly podcast that brings you the scientific wonders of our universe from a distinctly Catholic point of view. For more from Caroline, Lindsay, and friends, listen to the StarQuest show, Catholics of Oz. Find links from today's show at sqpn.com/science and find the Catholics of Oz at sqpn.com/Oz. Be sure to follow the show in Apple Podcasts, Google Play, wherever you can find podcasts, or on the SQPN YouTube channel. The generous donations of our patrons at sqpn.com/give make it possible for us to continue Let's Science and all the shows at StarQuest, which makes our nonprofit mission possible. You can join them by visiting sqpn.com/give. Join us next time for more scientific wonders, and thank you for listening to Let's Science on StarQuest. Here's another show on the StarQuest network you're sure to enjoy, Raising the Bets. Find it wherever fine podcasts are found or at sqpn.com/bets. That's BETTS, bets.